What's up everybody? Welcome to my video. Today we're going to take a look at some of the top distributions, Linux distributions that is, for 2023. We're going to focus on the top 5 according to my rankings, and we'll also have an honorable mentions for rankings 6 through 10. If you're new to my channel, guys, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, hit the notification if you like this type of content. I'm going to have a lot more coming out soon. And also, if you're new to the channel, you may be looking at what's on the screen now and thinking, what the heck is that? I do create custom USBs. This is one of them. I use this one specifically for the video because we're going to be covering all of the Linux distributions. And this is my new Linux Lovers Library, or L3 or L cubed USB, which you can now pick up at my shop. I'll have the link in the description. These are all USB 3.0 now. I've upgraded everything. And they are 64 gigs, so you're getting a pretty good stick right there for the price, but it's going to come fully packed and customized with everything you see here, which is 17 different images, 10 of the top Linux distributions today. The reason there's 17 versus 10, I have multiple flavors on some of them. You know, maybe that's XFCE or Cinnamon or GNOME or whatever, right? Some of them offer multiple, so I went ahead and loaded them up with multiple options there for you. Pre-built, all you do is stick it in and boot, and you can run these live. The only one on the list that doesn't have the live capability is Debian. Other than that, everything else, you don't need to install it. You can test it out. If you like it, the installer files are in there as well, so you have the best of both worlds there. Speaking of the shop, pick yourself up an IT Unicorn coffee mug. These are new to the shop. Feel free to grab one. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and jump in. First one on our list today, again, we're going to start at number 5 and we'll work our way down to number 1, and at some point we'll also cover the honorable mentions of ranking 6 through 10. So the first one on the list coming at number 5 today is going to be Debian. So let's get this booted up. Alright guys, so as you see, we can run the live system, which I'll do. And we're just going to boot into these so we can get a very high level look or visual of the operating system, the layout of the GUI, and then I'll just highlight some of the key things that makes this rank at whatever place on the list, Debian being number 5 again. So while this boots up, we can start to talk about some of the things that set Debian apart from some of the other OSs. I won't dive deep into this because it's a lot of information, but I'll just kind of go bullet point style, and then if you guys have information or if you have questions on why I called out certain things, let me know. We can definitely dive deeper. Debian is known for its stability, its longevity, right? It's been around since 1993, so that's a pretty long track record. It's very community driven, which is going to be a common theme for a lot of these open source Linux distributions. It uses a very solid package management tool, the APT, or the Advanced Package Tool. There's a variety of architectures with Debian. So it's supported on anything from your traditional x86 all the way to ARM-based devices, making it very versatile for different devices, right? So, choice of desktop environments. So this is one that doesn't just come in a single flavor. You've got GNOME, KDE Plasma, XFCE, LXQT, and more. So if you're not a fan of one specific one, you can always download or switch to a different flavor of Debian, and that'll give you hopefully what you're looking for. So a nice smooth layout here, guys. This is the Debian 12. I like what they've done here with the menus. It looks very clean. We've got all our categories. Just like most of the Linux distributions today, they come with a nice Office suite, LibreOffice. It's not Microsoft Office, but we can use these to modify and create documents and save them with the Microsoft Office formats. So that's nice, something Windows doesn't do. Of course, you have to pay extra for that type of stuff. So yeah, like I said, we won't dive into anything in here specifically, but we'll just kind of preview what each one of these look like. So a couple more things that are, I guess, noteworthy with Debian. Customization and flexibility. They've been around, like I said, from 1993, so they've done a lot of things to allow end users to customize and give you the flexibility to set things up. It's not just kind of concrete, you can't do anything. Also, a very large package repository. Being a 30-year-old OS, being around for that long, they've obviously accumulated a large repository of packages that work with the Debian system. They also have a security focus, so Debian places a strong emphasis on security, releasing regular updates and things like that to help keep their end users safe from vulnerabilities, and also ensuring the integrity of the system at the same time. And it serves as a foundation for many other distributions. In fact, we'll be doing a similar video on the top offensive security operating systems or distributions, and a couple of those top ones, of course, probably not a surprise to anyone in the space, Kali and Parrot. Those are both based on Debian. So I mean, that's just a couple examples. There's a lot of them. And there's a good reason for that. People choose to use a solid, long track record type of operating system because it's known for its stability, reliability, things like that, right? So if you're going to build something, build it on something with a good foundation. Ubuntu is another one as well. So that's really, I think those are enough reasons for me to give on Debian ranking where it did. Obviously a global community, right? I mean, it doesn't just span through the North America continent, it goes pretty much worldwide when it comes to Debian. So yeah, that was number 5 on the list, guys. Let's take a look at number 4. So in order to do that, I've booted this VM into my custom USB, so we'll just restart the system here. And once that reboots, it should bring us back to our Ventoy front loader, and that will allow us to check the next operating system or select the next operating system. I put a 10-second delay on this VM, so it may take a second to boot up. I did set the default boot device to USB, so eventually it should grab that USB and boot to it. Give it 1 second here, guys. Okay, so it did go to the USB device. And the next one we're going to be booting into is going to be number 4 on the list. And that is none other than Ubuntu. So you see, guys, I've customized this. I've put custom icons for each one of these to kind of correlate or match the operating system. But let's go ahead and boot into Ubuntu 22 desktop. If you've been in the realm of Linux for a while, you've probably seen or at least heard of Ubuntu. Excuse me. I'll give this a second to fire up here, guys. Alright, we've got Ubuntu loaded up. We're not going to install here, we're just going to try Ubuntu just so we can see what it looks like. This is, like I said, version 22 desktop. And there it is. You guys are probably very familiar with the logo there, the jellyfish. They've been using that for a while. So yeah, I mean, you guys have probably seen this, but if not, very cool layout again. Got all your utilities, your common things here, a few categories, some games. Like I said, most of you guys are probably familiar with Ubuntu, but let's just go high level on a few of the reasons why Ubuntu came in at number 4. One reason is it's historically pretty user-friendly. If you're coming over from something like Windows and you're new to Linux, chances are this is going to be one of the easier ones. Again, at least historically, your friends might recommend, hey, try Ubuntu, right? They're probably not going to start you out on something different, or something that's less user-friendly, I should say, excuse me. Nowadays, you also have things like Mint, MX, that are pretty user-friendly, compatible. Other than that, stable and reliable. Again, it's been around for a while and has a good LTS plan, or long-term support plan, excuse me. They're known for patching and supporting the systems for about 5 years, So you can put this in place, whether it's at home or a business, and know with a decent degree of confidence that they're not going to stop supporting it tomorrow. You should have kind of a track record or a plan to follow along with. Similar to Windows, right? They don't support their operating systems forever, but they do give you some type of guarantee that says, hey, we're going to keep supporting this thing until, 5 years from now, or whatever the case is. Ubuntu is another one that has a vast software repository. Strong community and support. A lot of people out there know Ubuntu. A lot of people love it. There's a lot of people out there to help you in communities. That's a great thing about the open source communities is we like to help each other out, right? So I do a lot of Raspberry Pi, Python programming kind of as a hobby. I'm not an expert. I'm decent, but I definitely leverage the forums. People get stuck. They've posted fixes. It's just a great way to interact with the community, and Ubuntu has a big community, so that's another strong point for it. Actually, you may not know this, but there's a corporate backing for Ubuntu. Ubuntu is developed and maintained by Canonical. I'm probably saying that wrong. Canonical, Canonical Limited. A company, I probably butchered that, guys, so feel free to make fun of me. A company that provides commercial support and services for Ubuntu deployments. This corporate backing contributes to the project's sustainability and continued development. So that gives people a little more confidence in implementing this in a corporate setting. Like we talked about earlier, hand in hand with the LTS is the regular release cycle. So they're releasing and updating, every 6 months or so. It's pretty predictable. They're keeping things up to date. Variety of flavors, so it comes not just in one flavor. It has GNOME, Plasma, XFCE, and I think there's some others out there as well. They're starting to gear their focus towards cloud and server, so that's another thing. I think they're trying to future-proof themselves with the market. Support for hardware. It's very compatible with a lot of different hardware. There's a global reach for Ubuntu as well. It's not just North America. It's global. Ubuntu is out there everywhere. Innovation and integration. Ubuntu has been a driver of innovation in the Linux ecosystem. It introduced features like the Unity desktop environment, the snap package format for software distribution, and more, contributing to the evolution of the Linux space. So I mean, that's pretty big. That's a lot to say right there. The last one is the education and nonprofit initiatives that Ubuntu focuses on. They've been involved in the education and nonprofit projects, providing free software and support to schools, organizations, and communities, which have helped spread its popularity. So those are pretty good reasons. Yeah, let me know. Let's do this. Before we go any further, guys, pause the video, go down in the chat, and let me know what you think number one is going to be, and then let me know what your number one pick is, or what's your favorite distribution. If you can't pick one, feel free to put a few in there. Just curious how my list stacks up to your guys's. Alright, so the next one on the list, we're going to go ahead and reboot again here, guys. We can do that a few different ways, but we'll go here. Restart the Ubuntu system. And this will get us back to it's telling us to remove the removable media. I'm not going to do that, but I am going to hit enter for the reboot. This will bring us back to our Ventoid front loader. Again, if you guys are liking what you see in this USB, visit the shop, take a look. I've got them priced pretty reasonable. From time to time, if you guys are subscribers, I do run promotions. I'll take 10% off or whatever off of USB when it's new. So stick around, tune in, and I do offer those things from time to time. If I have one for this, I haven't put it up yet, but if I do get one for this, I will link it. Excuse me, guys. I'll link it in the description, and you'll be able to use a coupon code if I do create one for this particular USB. Again, this is the L3, the Linux Lovers Library. Give this a second to boot here, guys, and we will jump into our number 3 pick. You know what? Before we crack the top 3, guys, let's do this. Let's, like I said, drop your choices in the chat. I appreciate that. I'm always glad to interact and hear what you guys think. But let's do the honorable mentions here before we crack the top 3. So coming in at number 6, guys, I'm not going to boot into these. These are all included on the USB, by the way, though. Number 6 is Elementary OS. Very cool project. If you guys haven't seen the Elementary OS, check it out. It's very cool. Like I said, it's on the USB as well, so it's there. Coming at number 7, probably should have did this the other way, but that's all right. We'll go 6 through 10. Coming in at number 7 is Solus. This is a pretty powerful OS as well, so this is a cool one. Check it out. Number 8, Zorin OS. Coming in at number 9, Fedora. That one's been around. And number 10, like I said, this is the only one that I couldn't get a live version of, but it's Debian. So I know this one's pretty popular out there, Debian. Those are all on the stick, by the way, guys. Some of them have multiple flavors. Alright, so those were our honorable mentions. Like I said, Elementary OS, Solus, Zorin, Fedora, and Debian. Now back to the top 5 list, guys. Coming in at number 3, we're going to go ahead and boot right into this guy, and that is going to be Manjaro. Another one with a big name out there, Manjaro. I've got several flavors here. We've got the KDE, we've got the GNOME, we've got the XFCE. Let's do something different. Let's go for the XFCE on this one. Boot it. Let this load up. So this is a 64 gig USB, guys. I didn't fill it all the way up. I gave it about 50 gigs worth of images, and then we left, you know, more than 10 gigs over if you want to use it for storage, if you want to add additional ISOs. Some of these are actually persistent, so they have live persistence on some of the new ones where you can basically save things and pick back up without installing it, so that's pretty cool. I mean, the extra space can come in handy there. Okay, we'll let this guy boot up. I wonder how many of you guys are going to guess what's number 1. I'm just curious. Alright guys, here's Manjaro. So this is the XFCE that we booted into. There are other flavors on the stick as well. So yeah, if you've seen this layout before, it's pretty cool. I think I favor the GNOME layout, but I think it's just a matter of preference, to be honest. That's why it's nice they offer multiple flavors. So you see quite a few baked-in utilities here, guys. Alright, that was Manjaro, and that's coming in at number 3. Again, we'll just do a quick bullet point why this one ranked number 3 on my list. This is a common one, user-friendly approach. I think Manjaro does aim to provide a user-friendly experience while still offering the benefits of rolling release distributions. It's Arch-based with simplified installation. So Manjaro is built on top of Arch Linux base, which is known for its customization and bleeding-edge software. However, Manjaro simplifies the installation process and offers an Arch-like experience without requiring users to manually configure every detail during installation. So that's kind of what we were alluding to earlier, like someone's never used Linux, you're probably not going to start them on like a flat-out Arch. You're probably going to say, hey, maybe if you like what Arch does, try Manjaro. It's like I don't even want to say watered down, it's just more user-friendly OS that's built on an Arch core. So they have a rolling release model, so that's good. Access, obviously, to the Arch Linux packages because it's built on Arch. User-friendly tools. User-focused tools in this case. Manjaro includes a set of user-focused tools to aid in tasks like driver management, system configuration, and package management. These tools aim to make a Linux experience more accessible to broaden the range of users. So again, kind of alluding to those people who are maybe new to the Linux space. Stability. Despite being rolling release distribution, Manjaro places emphasis on stability by holding back updates for further testing before they are pushed to users. Man, Microsoft could take a page out of their book. This approach helps to prevent major breakages that can occur in some other rolling release distributions. I just have to laugh because, I mean, if you support a Windows environment, yeah, you've been there. Supportive community. This is obviously a common theme amongst these top OSs. Out-of-the-box multimedia support. So Manjaro includes proprietary drivers, codecs, and multimedia support by default, making it easier for users to enjoy media content without additional configurations. That's a lot of people want that. I mean, who doesn't? Out-of-the-box plug and play. Let's get it on. International. So they support multiple languages and provides localized versions, making it accessible to users around the world. That's pretty cool. Customization and theming, obviously different flavors. User can get in there and customize things. And the last one is compatibility with a wide range of hardware. So yeah, Manjaro came in at number 3, guys. Let's reboot this, and we're going to get into the top 2. Restart. Give this a second. Get back to our nice. We won't wait for that delay this time. I'll get to the boot menu. Go save us a few seconds anyway. Okay, for the top 2, I'm pretty sure you guys are gonna know one of them. I'm not sure how many of you guys are gonna guess the other one. So here we go, guys. Coming in at number 2, Linux Mint. I know this is a top pick for a lot of people. Very strong pick for those who are new to Linux, and for good reason. I mean, it's a great operating system. It's beautiful the way it's laid out. Let's boot into it. Let's roll the cinnamon. Roll the cinnamon. See what I did there? Cinnamon roll. Cinnamon roll will go great with your cup of coffee and the IT Unicorn mug, by the way. God, that was cheesy. Okay. So this is another one of those on the USB that has multiple flavors. We're going to boot into the cinnamon. Give this just a second to load up here, guys. Excuse me. There we go. So, as you can see, it's got a nice layout. It's a very familiar layout. If you worked with Windows, it's kind of similar. The cinnamon version anyway. So that's the top reason on my list is user-friendly interface. Linux Mint is known for its user-friendly interface. Its Cinnamon desktop environment, which we're looking at now, provides a layout that resembles traditional desktop environments, making it comfortable for users transitioning from other operating systems. I think what we're trying to say there is, if you're new to this and you're coming from Windows, this is probably a very good starting space, because this looks a lot like, kind of like a Windows 10 or 11 type of layout, more like Windows 10 layout here. So very nice. I mean, obviously beautiful what they've done with it here. A lot of good tools here. I like the way they've categorized some of these utilities. Very nice. If you haven't checked this one out, guys, this is one to spend a little time on, take a deep dive, test drive it. These don't have to be your daily drivers, but again, if you have like an older PC or you don't know what to do with a PC, putting Linux on it a lot of times is a great thing to do. I mean, you can learn Linux on the side, and most of the time it's going to run a lot leaner than a Windows box. It's going to meet those requirements, right? Your older PC. Anyways, so user-friendly interface is number 1 for Linux. The ease of installation, it's super straightforward to install. Software manager, they've got a very solid software manager for all the software packages. Community support, Linux has grown huge in the recent years, so there's a lot of support out there for it. A lot of people have this number 1 on their list, I know that for sure, right? Linux Mint. Update management, they place a strong emphasis on stability and security, so they're always keeping things up to date for the end users. Variety of editions, we talked about this, and I even showed you a few on the stick. Comes in multiple flavors. Excuse me, guys. Mint tools. So Linux Mint includes a set of custom tools and utilities to enhance the user experience. These tools cover areas like system settings, backup and restore, driver management, and more. So kind of those baked-in type of things like Microsoft Windows has, right? So it's really easy for someone to transition from a Windows OS over to a Linux Mint type of OS. LTS, so they've got long-term support on their releases. It has a strong Ubuntu base, so Linux Mint is based on Ubuntu, one of the most popular Linux distributions, came in number 4 on our list. This means it inherits the extensive package repositories and support ecosystem of Ubuntu, while providing its own unique features and customization, so it's built on top of Ubuntu. And the customization options, we talked about this a couple times, but you can really get in here, like I said, spend some time in here, kick the tires on it. There's a lot you can do with Linux Mint as far as customization and changing things. So, very solid OS. Like I said, it could have been number 1. It goes back and forth, but this is kind of focusing on what's number 1, what's hot out there right now this year. Alright guys, let's get this rebooted and we'll take a look at the top one on our list. Skip that 10-second delay again here. Jump on the boot menu. Just grab USB. Alright guys, no further ado, number one on the list, 2023, MX. MX23 is the number one in my book for 2023. This is also one that has live persistence, so that's a really cool feature. Alright, while this loads up, let's just start getting right into the list. MX, one of the main reasons is stability and performance, and it's gorgeous too. Look at this thing. MX Linux is known for its stability and performance. It is built upon the Debian stable, which is renowned for its reliability and solid foundation. This makes MX Linux a good choice for users who prioritize a stable and hassle-free experience. I mean, that's not a bad choice. Ease of use. MX Linux features a user-friendly interface that makes it accessible to both beginners and experienced users. It comes with a well-designed default configuration that aims to be intuitive and efficient, for sure. XFCE desktop environment. MX Linux uses the XFCE desktop environment, which strikes a balance between being lightweight and providing a feature-rich experience. It's known for its responsiveness and efficient resource utilization. So you can run this thing on pretty lean resources. MX Tools, which is one of the things that you're going to see in here, is MX Tools. MX Linux offers a range of custom tools designed to simplify various tasks for users. These tools cover areas like system management, hardware configuration, package management, and more. This can be particularly helpful for users who want that out-of-the-box experience with minimal setup required. Another good reason is community and support. Like I said, this is one, if not the most popular operating system right now out there for Linux users. So there's a huge growing community and a lot of support out there for it. Very nice hardware compatibility for MX as well. Works with a wide variety of hardware configurations. Customizability. Excuse me, I can't say that word. Customizability. Similar to some of the other ones on the top of the list. A lot of customization capabilities with this. Another good reason is the lack of bloat. So it comes without a ton of bloatware, which is great. Runs lean. You can run it on lean resources. Another good reason is regular updates. So they're keeping things up to date, keeping you secure, patching up all those vulnerabilities. And I think one of the top reasons, I saved it for last, is the live USB persistence. So MX Linux is often used from a live USB, allowing users to run the operating system without installing it. The live USB mode even supports data persistence, meaning users can save their files and settings between sessions. That's pretty sweet. You never have to install it. You can take this stick around, have it on the go, but you don't lose anything that you've done. So that's really cool if you ask me. I mean, that's a big one. Here's the MX tools we were talking about though, guys. If you just want to take a look on the screen here, we've got things like job scheduler, disk management, boot repair, cleanup, boot options, Samba config, USB kernel updater, live USB maker, remaster CC. There's all kinds of stuff right here, right? These are some very cool custom MX tools. So different categories too. We had live, and then you have maintenance, setup, software, and utilities. So this is why we called out the MX tools as one of the reasons. So yeah, guys, I know this is a long video, but there was a lot to talk about here. We're talking about we mentioned the 10 best the 10 best Linux operating systems of the year, and we really focused on the top 5 and we took a look at those. Along with that, we looked at the USB, and I showed you guys that this has all 10 of those on there with multiple flavors. So again, 17 images. All of them are live, or I should say live with the option to install, with the exception of Deepin. That one doesn't have a live offering. I would have to kind of create something custom. I may do a video on that in the future. But for now, Deepin's the only one that you have to install to try. The rest of them, you can run them all live. And let's just recap the list real quick before we go here, guys. So number 10 was Deepin. 9 was Fedora. 8 was Zorin. 7 Solus, 6 Elementary, and then we got into the top 5 list. Coming in at number 5 we had Debian, number 4 we had Ubuntu, number 3 we had Manjaro, number 2 was Linux Mint. That's probably going to be debated by a few of you guys, but that's fine. And number 1 was MX Linux. So let me know what you guys thought about the list. Let me know what you think number 1 is, and let me know what you think about my number 1 pick, MX, and if you've tried it or not. Also, once again guys, if you're interested in the custom USB that you've seen here on the screen today guys, head on over to bootableusbs.com. Link will be in the description. I may create a coupon code for that for you guys for tuning in, where you can save 10% and get yourself a copy. This thing is a very nice tool to have. You can obviously make this yourself if you're familiar with customizing Ventoy and all that stuff, and you want to go and download and find all these. That's fine. I mean, go ahead. The whole series that I put together on USBs was to help you guys do that. But if you just want to order one from me and have it ready to go out of the box, you just plug it in and start firing up OSs, head on over to the shop and check it out, guys. They're pretty reasonably priced. Again, you're getting a USB 3.0, 64 gigs, and it's jam-packed with all these brand new OSs from Linux. So thanks a lot, guys. If you stuck around to the end of this super long video, I apologize for making it so long-winded, but again, there's a lot to talk about when we're talking about this many different operating systems. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Until the next one, don't forget to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and take care, everybody. We'll see you soon.